What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. It's 6:30 a.m., August 31st, last day of the month. Lots to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin, altcoins, and then by the end of this video, I'm going to explain to you some of the DeFi coins, some of the upcoming DeFi projects that I'm really interested in, such as Falcon Swap, why YFI is truly just going to be an epic coin that is going to suck in a lot of money. Why Andre, the creator of Yearn Finance, is truly one of the most successful and innovative developers of the crypto generation. And then, of course, the final topic, why exactly YETH is going to be the next hot product in case you missed out on the YFI run. All right, so let's get started with Bitcoin first, because again, I know everybody likes to talk about the latest hot topic about what's happening in crypto, but just remember that crypto doesn't exist unless Bitcoin is associated with it. Rather, there is no crypto unless you're talking about Bitcoin. Whether it's from the average crypto enthusiast perspective, or if you're talking about it to someone from the traditional markets or professionals or hedge funds, etc. Okay, crypto itself is still far away from mainstream adoption, whereas Bitcoin is actually gaining traction in mainstream media, hedge funds, fund managers, institutions, etc. So we always want to pay attention to what's happening in Bitcoin, because it'll give us an indication of what exactly could be coming in the other parts of crypto, such as DeFi, such as the traditional altcoins, okay? So let's get to it, right? So yesterday what we had was a new weekly open. We closed out the week right around $11,700 or so. And we're now below the weekly open. Okay, I've told you all before that whenever you come back below the weekly open, typically, this is a slightly bearish. It doesn't mean that you have to keep going down forever, but just means that, temporarily, we're not looking so hot. So what you want to do is you want to get price above this marker right here, and hopefully it holds, and then it can start targeting 11.8, 11.9, and then I think my next big target is around $12,200 up here. Okay, until that happens, until we get above this weekly open and hold, it's possible that we head back towards the monthly open and possibly even lower, which I don't think we want to do at present moment. Couple of reasons why I personally believe that, from here, we're probably going to head up. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that from here, we just literally just go straight up. I personally think that we're still in a mini range within a range, right? So I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So I think, this little area right here is its own developing range. And then this larger area right here is its own, working range, which is kind of like that. Okay, so it's a range within a range, in my opinion. I think in this golden range right here, I think we're relatively still bullish. I think it's a larger period of consolidation before Bitcoin makes its bigger move to the upside. Now this area right here, I think once you start breaking up and out of it, okay, which is around say 11.8, we should start relatively seeing 12,000, 12,200 come pretty fast. There's also a possibility that we come further down here, take some liquidity down here and then start pushing up. I do think that there's a ton of stops, long stops sitting below that area, long stops sitting below that area, and then of course this area, which I've marked out as liquidity. So I think all three of this one, and then this one can all be taken in terms of liquidity if price comes down to this, box right here, which is around 10.9, 10.8 liquidity right there, okay? This little box right here. So point is, we haven't really quite done anything. Like, we've broken out this trend line. That's a positive sign. We're relatively just kind of climbing up, but we have not shown any signs of clear breakouts above, clear resistance levels. Okay, so I think for now, BTC is just, in my opinion, still in a consolidation phase in this large range that I just showed you. And personally, if it's in this consolidation phase, if you're buying spot, if you're buying Bitcoin long positions, I think this is definitely an area to buy the dip, if you will. My stop for my long position in BTC is way the heck down here, just around $10,500, because I have a deep stop for now, because if price, say, comes down further and further, it could bounce from here and push back up. But if it goes down here, then you've effectively broken, this large range that I marked out earlier, right? So that would probably not be good. More than likely, if that happens, we're probably headed down to, low 9,000s, maybe even, $8,000 and some change. But, like I said, for now, we don't really need to worry about that, which is something to keep in mind. And then on the other side, if we get above, 12.2, 12.4, or we break above this key high, then I think we should be aiming for 13,000 and 14,000. And I'll show you guys, from a weekly perspective, how that looks. Okay. So from my previous video, if you've been watching it, okay, I stated that this marker that you see, well, let's start off over here. So this red marker that you see, right, it comes from the high of this August 2019. And you can see right there, we tapped right above that, took some, liquidity above that, and then got sold off. That means the sellers were actually pretty strong up here, okay? And they sent us down all the way to almost $11,100. But when this weekly candle right here, the one that just closed yesterday, was forming, it was actually way the heck down here till about Friday and Saturday, and then it started to climb back up. And it closed above this key marker, which is 11,631. And I'll show you the importance of that. That comes from the January 2018 marker on the weekly, okay, which is the last highest closing marker that we've had since January 2018. And so this key marker, this key candle actually closed above that marker. So if we would have closed back below that marker, that would have stated that, okay, it's quite possible that we're headed to the next weekly support, which is way the heck down here around 10,500. But we didn't do that. What we really did was we closed like a hammer, as you can see right there. We closed a hammer, and so now we're printing the follow-up candle, which I'm hoping is going to be a bullish candle. The level that we want to see a weekly candle close above is this marker right here, which is around about $12,300, $12,400. If that happens, we should be expecting this area right here, $13,900 and some change. So point is, I think things are still relatively bullish, okay? But obviously we have to make certain steps of progress to start talking about, more upside, okay? Now let's move on to Link, okay? This is my other favorite altcoin. Link we started getting into way the heck down here. I mean, we've been averaged in from $8 or so, but we also started getting in, I guess, getting back in again right around this area, $13 and $12 range. And so we're up a good amount on our Link position, okay? Overall, I think Link is probably going to keep pushing up, but I think for now it's going to need a nice little pullback. And if we do a simple fib retracement, right, from here to here, we've made a nice move up so far. We're coming relatively close to the 382 fib, all right? So let's see what we can do, if we can get down to 382 fib, maybe even the 618 fib down here. That would be really good in terms of a golden pocket. If we do even a closer fib, like say from this area, because this is a big run up that we've had, we've already hit the 382 fib. Okay, so now it's, it's a game of, is there enough buyers? Is there enough strength in this asset to keep pushing up? Okay, I don't really know yet. It's hard to determine, but for now, things look decent on Link. We came down a good amount from $19 and some change all the way to 13 or 12 and moved back up to 17. The only thing I want to make sure is that this is not a large sort of ABC correction where, you know, if this was the top of the fifth, like this is not a one, you know, A, B, and a deeper C that we're about to put in. That would probably not be good, but it'd probably be healthier for the longer term, you know, in terms of length potentially pushing up higher. Okay, so just, you know, things to keep an eye on, but I am aware that that is a potential pattern that is possible. So make sure you guys pay attention to that too. Let's check out ETH, right? So we're gonna discuss yearn ETH in a little bit, and I'll tell you guys why that will be positive for Ethereum's price, okay? So remember, I've told y'all that ETH, for the most part, has this ability to potentially lead Bitcoin, right? And it doesn't carry Bitcoin or anything. It's rather that when you know, say other professionals or other algos or bots are looking to drive up one specific market, specifically ETH, it's very possible that Bitcoin is not too far behind. Because these are multi-billion-dollar market cap assets, that they're not as easy to move, right? You can't just jump up 10, 20, 30% like you do with other small altcoins. You know, it takes an effort to make that happen. And so the effort that's going into ETH right now, in my opinion, is a nice turnaround right here that's happening to price action, which is, you know, relatively a good positive sign. And so if this is happening right here, okay, we should be expecting 440 as our next target for Ethereum. Okay, and that's just a local target. And then for Bitcoin, that should be a relatively, you know, easy target of 11.8 or 11.9 if ETH is getting to the 440 marker. Okay, now from the weekly perspective, this is how things are looking. Okay, so let's move this up a little bit more. Okay, so this is how things are looking from, I don't know how I have this thing. Okay, we are currently at, you know, this area right here where we've consolidated for about a good 2 or 3 weeks, right? I think we're ready to make our push up on the weekly towards $480 to $500. Okay, I think that's exactly where we are. Is I think we're in the perfect area after 3 weeks of consolidation. I think we're ready to make our push up. Now, if that happens, right, we have to then see how rather Ethereum reacts to this $480, $500 area. And if it's a positive reaction, say we break through it, then we should be looking relatively up here, which is around closer to $800. Okay, so I think all cylinders look good when it comes to ETH. I don't see any large issues why Ethereum should from here just start breaking down, unless say traditional markets start breaking down or the dollar starts climbing or any of that. But I don't see any signs of that right now. Okay, I'll keep the Advantage community members updated, of course, but for now all things look good. Okay, so we have Ethereum, we have Link. Now let's check out LTC. That's the other, you know, other altcoin that, you know, I've spoken about LTC. You know, once it starts breaking out this red box right here, the next big target for LTC is this marker right here, around $79 or so. I mean, there's nothing else in the way, in my opinion. Maybe again, you know, $70 right around here, but it's really 79, this $80 range. Okay, because see, the thing is, ETH and LTC have kind of created somewhat of similar structures. You could actually make the argument that LTC actually has, on the daily basis, relatively a better price structure. So point is, if Litecoin starts pushing up, well, then I would expect $79. At present moment though, I think the coin that has the most upside, Litecoin versus Ethereum versus Bitcoin, is because of this YETH product. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I had stated that Litecoin will probably perform better than Ethereum because of its simple price structure, but then this thing came out, and this completely changed my mind, because for those of you who don't understand, what's happening with this DeFi space, and within that, year in finance, think of it basically like as a credit lending, program. Okay, you have the ability to now stake things like Ethereum, stake things like your other assets, and that is something that you can get money on, right? So tons of people are staking Ethereum, tons of people are staking other altcoins, and they're realizing, holy crap, if you stake that kind of money in this asset, if you stake that kind of money in the asset and then buy the asset as well, which is YFI, you can make a ton of money, because what you're effectively doing is by staking your asset in this asset right here and then buying the asset itself, it's like a double whammy, where you are effectively not only buying the asset, but you're saying that, hey, I believe in this asset to stake in it, and then other people are doing the same thing, and so this asset gains a tremendous amount of value because of the total value locked, right, the TVL. So it's one of the most unique sort of projects and propositions that I've ever come across. I don't really know what's going to come out of it, but for now, things look good. The market says that this thing is here to stay, even if it's temporarily. But the market is dictating that, hey, they believe in this thing, and that's why it's valued at $33,000. That's why there's only, I think like 30,000 coins in its existence or something, as you can see right there. So circulating supply, there's only 30,000, right? I'm sorry, circulating supply is 29,962 out of 30,000. So it's an insane kind of amount of for one YFI token. But if you think about it, the circulating supply versus the total value locked in this thing, it makes sense, right? There's a stat that I read about how the Tesla PE ratio, which is the price to earnings ratio, is currently around 1,100 points. The YFI PE ratio, if you did the breakdown, the calculation is closer to about 10 or 11. I mean, that's kind of amazing, right? What price to earnings ratio is effectively your way of looking at a company and saying, what kind of profit, what kind of value do you provide based on what you have in your revenue, what you're creating in terms of your product, right? And so YFI can clearly say that, hey, we have a ton of value locked for every coin, that's worth $33,000, versus Tesla, which is worth $2,000. They can't really make that same kind of pronouncement, So technically, just from the basic perspective of looking at companies, you would say from a numbers standpoint, YFI is clearly a better project or a company. Now, again, it doesn't make anything. The whole industry, in my opinion, is very new. It could very well fall apart today, tomorrow, next week, next month. But the point is, the market values it where it is right now. And I don't know if you can make an argument otherwise, that there's other reasons to not invest in it. Okay, it's the only reason that I see to not invest in it is the fact that it's risky and it's new. Other than that, the concept of it is pretty spot on. And to be honest, Andre, make sure you guys add him, is a genius, in my opinion, for creating such an amazing product. So going off YFI, there's the second product that's being created, which is YETH. It's the same thing, but now you get to stake your Ethereum and earn rewards from it. So YFI, just to give you context, it started off somewhere around $30 or $50, and it has made its way all the way to about, as you can see down here, right? It made its way all the way to about $33,000. That's because the total value locked up in it, all the services that have started to use it and trade it have valued it to be 30,000, which is, obviously almost 1,000x movement, right? That's, crazy amounts of movement. So, personally, I think it's truly one of the most unique products, and I'm going to be very interested in, putting some of my money into YETH. Just something for you guys to look into. make sure you read this article. I'll have this posted in the crypto advantage side and the free side of our community. If you're not familiar with our Discord channel, this is it. There's a link below. Come join. Okay. The other product that I'm interested in, Falcon Swap. Okay. So I'm sure you guys have heard about Uniswap. That's the one place where you can exchange coins. Very popular nowadays as a DEX, a decentralized exchange. And it's gaining a lot of steam, a lot of money, a lot of attraction. But I think the one thing that, personally from using Uniswap is you get some wild slippage in there. And then on top of that, the gas fees are really high. And I think Falcon Swap is aiming to solve that, actually. So it's just another project that you may want to pay attention to. Okay. Again, not investment advice. I'm not going to tell you buy or sell, but as this space develops, guys, you constantly have to update and upgrade your knowledge, because if you don't, you'll get left behind in the project of yesterday. And so things like YFI, things like Falcon Swap, things like YETH, are some of the projects that I'm truly interested in for the days ahead. And on top of that, of course, there's other projects that I have my eye on, which I'm already up a lot in. Obviously Link, I told you I'm up close to 100% on it. DOT is another one. So this is another project that our community, got into right around $3 or $4. So we're up, almost 50, 75%. Okay, we're doing a pretty good job of finding out and scoping out these projects, doing our due diligence, and investing in them. So personally, I think things are going great in the DeFi space and the altcoin space. And I truly believe that there is an alt season, there is a bubble developing, and I don't think we're anywhere close to the end of the bubble. Maybe we're, 50, 60% of the way in. So that means I think there's probably, the herd is still yet to catch on, which is possibly a couple months away. It takes a bit more time and a bit more work from the part of the media in terms of spreading the message, proliferating the message, if you will. And then the herd arrives, and then they'll pump your bags, So I'm thinking that as you look at these projects and you get in early on these projects, you don't really have to do a whole lot of trading. I think if you find a great project, kind of like I have, whether it's Link or DOT, YETH, you kind of just want to sit back, get comfy in your position, and then just wait for the dollars to accumulate. That's how I'm looking at it. Okay. So again, guys, non-investment advice, but just some research for y'all to do. That's pretty much it. If you enjoy this content, hit the thumbs up. I will be posting this article in the free side and the advantage side. So come join our Discord channel. The link is below. If you do want to join the advantage side, go to our website, www.thealphatrades.com, and come join our community where we trade altcoins, Bitcoin, DeFi right here. And then, of course, equity side as well, which we pay a lot of attention to, because equities also gives us a good understanding of what may be to come in crypto. Okay? That's it. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your Monday.